Area 51 didn't just hide secrets, it rewrote the rules of secrecy. Guards shoot on sight, workers fly in blindfolded, and the government denied it existed for 50 years. These are 20 weird facts about Area 51, and the bonus? Let's just say even presidents couldn't get answers. Strap in, this rabbit hole goes deep. Presidents don't get full access. Even presidents of the United States don't automatically get told everything about Area 51 when they take office. President Bill Clinton said he asked about Area 51 and UFOs, but got vague answers from officials. He admitted on late night TV that he tried to find out the truth, but wasn't satisfied with what they told him. President Barack Obama joked about Area 51 on Jimmy Kimmel's show, but wouldn't give real answers about what's there. The president has security clearance for top secret information, but Area 51 operates on need-to-know compartmentalized basis. This means that unless the president specifically needs the information for a decision, they might not be briefed. Some researchers believe certain military and CIA programs are kept from presidents on purpose for security. The idea is that if the president doesn't know, they can't accidentally reveal secrets or be forced to lie. Former presidents have hinted that there are things they learned that they can never talk about publicly ever. It shows that Area 51's secrets are guarded at the highest levels of secrecy in government. Groom Lake doesn't appear on maps. For decades, Groom Lake didn't appear on any official US government maps at all. The dry lake bed was simply left blank as if nothing existed there in the middle of Nevada. Maps showed empty desert where a massive military base actually operated every single day. Even detailed topographic maps used by hikers and pilots had the area mysteriously missing or blurred out. In the 1960s through the 1990s, aviation charts showed restricted airspace but no base underneath it. When the CIA finally acknowledged Area 51 in 2013, maps slowly started including it properly. Google Earth shows the base now, but some features are blurred or have low-resolution images deliberately. The runways, hangars, and main buildings are visible, but smaller details remain hidden or unclear. Some conspiracy theorists believe the visible base is just a distraction from deeper underground facilities below. The fact that the government hid an entire military installation from maps for 50 years shows how serious they were about secrecy. It didn't officially exist until 2013. The US government refused to admit Area 51 existed for almost 60 years straight. They denied everything, even when satellite photos showed the base clear as day. In 2013, the CIA finally admitted it was real in declassified documents released to the public. For decades, maps showed nothing but empty desert where the base actually stood. Workers who flew there every day couldn't even tell their own families where they worked. Each morning, the government acted like millions of people were crazy for talking about a place that was obviously real. They kept the secret so well that even some government officials didn't know it existed until the papers came out. Jeffrey T. Richelson, a researcher, spent years fighting to get the documents released through Freedom of Information requests. When the truth finally came out, nobody was really surprised, but everyone felt vindicated after being called conspiracy theorists for so long. Workers fly in on secret airlines. Workers at Area 51 don't drive to work like normal people do every morning. They fly in on unmarked planes called Janet flights from Las Vegas McCarran Airport every single day. The planes are white with a red stripe and have no airline logos or names anywhere on them. The terminal they leave from is separate from the main airport where tourists go for vacations. Workers show special badges that regular airport security never sees or checks. Flights leave at the exact same times every day, like clockwork without fail. Passengers aren't allowed to tell anyone where they're going or what they do at work. The planes fly low over the desert to avoid being tracked easily by radar. There are 6 planes that make over 20 flights daily, carrying hundreds of workers back and forth. It's the world's worst kept secret airline that everyone knows about, but nobody officially acknowledges exists. The base is bigger than you think. Area 51 covers way more land than most people realize when they picture it. The restricted area around it is over 2,900 square miles of desert that's completely forbidden. That's bigger than the entire state of Delaware from top to bottom. The base itself has grown massively over the decades since it was built. Satellite photos show huge hangars big enough to hide entire football stadiums inside them. There are dozens of buildings, runways that stretch for miles, and underground facilities nobody can see, or from space. New construction happens constantly with new buildings appearing in satellite images every few years. The longest runway is over 12,000 feet long, which is way longer than most commercial airports need. Some hangars are so big that they show up clearly on Google Earth despite being in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows exactly how many people work there, but estimates say anywhere from 1,000 to several thousand employees daily. It started because of spy planes. Area 51 was created in 1955 by the CIA for one specific secret purpose. They needed somewhere remote to test the U-2 spy plane away from Soviet spies and curious American eyes. Lockheed engineer Kelly Johnson picked Groom Lake, a dry lake bed in the Nevada desert. President Dwight Eisenhower approved the location in April 1955 after seeing the remote area. The CIA director Richard Bissell wanted a place so isolated that nobody would accidentally see the secret planes. They built the base in the middle of nowhere, 85 miles northwest of Las Vegas. The dry lake bed made a perfect natural runway that needed almost no construction work. Within months, they had built hangars, housing, and a control tower in the desert. The first U-2 test flight started in August 1955, just 4 months after they picked the location. The base was supposed to be temporary, but it never closed and just kept growing bigger and bigger. UFO reports were actually spy planes. In the 1950s and 1960s, people reported seeing strange silver objects flying impossibly high in the sky. They thought they were seeing alien spaceships from other planets visiting Earth. The CIA knew the truth but couldn't tell anyone without revealing their secret spy plane program. The objects were U-2 spy planes flying at 60,000 feet, way higher than any normal plane could fly. At sunset, the sun would reflect off the silver planes, making them glow bright in the darkening sky. Commercial pilots flying at 20,000 feet would look up and see something that shouldn't exist up there. The CIA let people believe in aliens rather than admit they were testing classified aircraft over America. Over half of all UFO reports in the late 1950s were actually U-2 flights, according to declassified CIA documents. The agency even encouraged UFO conspiracy theories as the perfect cover story for their secret operations. It was easier to be called crazy than to reveal billion-dollar military secrets to the Soviet Union. Bob Lazar's wild claims. In 1989, a man named Bob Lazar went on Las Vegas TV and claimed he worked at Area 51. He said he was hired to reverse engineer alien spacecraft for the US government in secret. Lazar claimed there were 9 flying saucers hidden in a facility called S4 near Area 51. He described seeing alien technology that used something called Element 115 as fuel for impossible propulsion systems. The government immediately denied everything and said Lazar never worked there at all. They erased his employment records, education history, and tried to make him disappear from all documentation. Lazar took lie detector tests and passed them, which made some people believe his incredible story. Scientists and researchers have spent 30 years trying to prove or disprove his claims without reaching a conclusion. Element 115 didn't officially exist until 2003, when scientists created it in a lab years after Lazar mentioned it. His story made Area 51 famous worldwide and turned it into the center of alien conspiracy theories forever. Warning signs are serious. The border around Area 51 has signs posted everywhere that are absolutely not joking around. They say photography is prohibited and use of deadly force authorized in bold red letters. The signs warn that trespassers will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of federal law without exception. Security forces will arrest you immediately and fine you at least $1,000 for just stepping over the line. If they think you're dangerous or refusing to cooperate, they can legally shoot you dead on the spot. The signs are posted every few hundred feet along the entire border of the restricted zone. Sensors buried in the ground detect any movement or footsteps within seconds of crossing the boundary. Cameras mounted on poles watch the desert 24 hours a day without ever stopping. The camo dudes will arrive in their trucks within 5 minutes of any alarm going off. People have been detained for hours, had all their possessions searched, and banned from Nevada for years just for curiosity. Mysterious loud booms. People living in towns near Area 51 report hearing massive booms that shake their houses and rattle windows. The explosions are so loud they can be heard from over 100 miles away on quiet desert nights. Nobody officially explains what causes the mysterious booming sounds that come from the base. Some booms happen during the day, but most occur late at night when fewer people are awake. Residents in Rachel Nevada, which is the closest town, hear them several times a month regularly. The sounds are way louder than normal planes or even military jets breaking the sound barrier. Some people think they're testing new experimental aircraft or weapons in the desert. Others believe they're moving heavy equipment underground or doing controlled explosions for construction projects. Seismographs sometimes pick up the vibrations, showing they're real explosions and not just imagination. The Air Force refuses to comment on the booms, which makes people even more suspicious and curious. Storm Area 51 event. In July 2019, a college student named Matty Roberts created a joke Facebook event as a prank. He called it Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us, as a funny meme. The event went completely viral and over 2 million people clicked attending within 2 weeks. The plan was to run into Area 51 on September 20th, 2019, all at once to see them aliens. The Air Force issued serious warnings that they would defend the base with all necessary force. The nearby town of Rachel, Nevada, population 54, prepared for thousands of visitors showing up. Officials worried about safety, lack of water, medical emergencies, and people dying in the desert heat. When the day came, about 150 people actually showed up at the gate, but nobody stormed anything. A few people got arrested for trespassing, but most just took photos and left peacefully. It became a massive internet cultural moment, and 2 music festivals were organized nearby called Alien Stock and Storm Area 51 Base Camp. You can see it, but never reach it. Area 51 sits in plain view from 2 mountains nearby called Tikaboo Peak and Freedom Ridge. You can drive to these spots and look down at the base with binoculars or telescopes easily, but you can't get any closer without risking your life or freedom. The base is surrounded by miles and miles of restricted land that's completely off limits to everyone. Guards called Camo. Dudes watch the borders 24 hours a day, every single day. They sit in white trucks on hilltops with super powerful binoculars watching every movement below. If you cross the boundary line marked by orange posts, they will find you within minutes guaranteed. The guards have the legal authority to use deadly force if they think you're a serious threat. Hundreds of people have been arrested, fined thousands of dollars, and had their cameras and equipment taken away forever. You can look at Area 51, but touching it will ruin your life faster than sound aircraft. Area 51 was where the SR-71 Blackbird was tested in complete secrecy during the 1960s. This plane could fly over 3 times the speed of sound at 2,200 miles per hour through the sky. It flew so high and fast that no enemy missile or plane could catch it during missions. The Blackbird set records that still haven't been broken over 50 years later by any aircraft. Test pilots at Area 51 pushed the plane to its absolute limits in the Nevada desert. The plane leaked fuel on the runway because it was designed to seal up only at high temperatures during flight. When it flew at full speed, the titanium body heated up to over 500 degrees Fahrenheit from air friction. Pilots wore special suits similar to spacesuits to survive the extreme conditions inside the cockpit. The SR-71 remained classified for years, and people who saw it flying thought it was a UFO. Over 4,000 missiles were fired at SR-71s during missions, but not a single one was ever hit or shot down. Stealth technology was born here. The F-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter was developed and tested at Area 51 in total secrecy starting in 1977. It was the world's first operational stealth aircraft that was nearly invisible to radar systems. The plane had flat angles and special materials that absorbed or deflected radar waves away from their source. Engineers worked for years perfecting the technology that would change warfare forever around the world. Test flights happen only at night to hide the plane's unusual diamond shape from curious observers. Workers called it the Wobbly Goblin because it was hard to fly and looked strange in the air. The project was so secret that even high-ranking military officers didn't know it existed for years. The F-117 wasn't revealed to the public until 1988, over a decade after the first test flights. It shocked the world during the Gulf War in 1991 when it destroyed targets without being detected. Area 51's work on stealth technology gave America a massive military advantage that lasted for decades: toxic burn pits. Workers at Area 51 in the 1980s and 1990s burned classified materials in open pits using jet fuel. They burned everything from old planes to computers to toxic chemicals in huge fires every week. The smoke contained dangerous substances like dioxins, furans, and other cancer-causing compounds that workers breathed daily. Employees started getting sick with respiratory problems, skin rashes, and cancers at unusually high rates. In 1994, several workers sued the government claiming claiming the burn pits made them seriously ill. Two workers, Robert Frost and Walter Casa, died from illnesses they blamed on exposure to toxic smoke. Their widows continued the lawsuit, but the government refused to provide any documents about what was burned. The Air Force cited national security and said revealing what was in the burn pits would endanger America. President Bill Clinton signed a special order exempting Area 51 from environmental disclosure laws in 1995. The case was dismissed, and the families got nothing because the base was officially secret despite everyone knowing it existed. Underground facilities. Conspiracy theorists and former workers claim Area 51 has massive underground facilities hidden beneath the desert surface. Some say there are multiple levels going down hundreds of feet into the earth below the base. These underground areas would be perfect for hiding extremely classified projects from satellite cameras in space. Construction of underground facilities would explain the mysterious booming sounds people hear for miles around. Bob Lazar claimed the S4 facility where he allegedly worked was built into a mountainside with hidden hangar doors. Satellite images show ventilation shafts and unusual structures that could be entrances to underground levels below. The base definitely has some underground areas for storage and protection from potential attacks or surveillance. However, the extent of underground construction remains unknown because nobody can inspect or confirm the claims. Building massive underground bases is expensive but not impossible, and the military has done it at other locations. Whether Area 51 has a small basement or a massive underground city remains one of its biggest mysteries. Constant surveillance. Area 51 uses some of the most advanced surveillance technology in the world to protect its secrets. Cameras with powerful zoom lenses can read license plates from miles away in the desert. Motion sensors buried in the dirt detect footsteps, vehicles, and even large animals crossing boundary lines. The base uses radar systems that track every aircraft within hundreds of miles of the restricted zone. Satellites constantly photograph the surrounding area to monitor for any suspicious activity or unauthorized visitors. Security contractors earn six-figure salaries just to sit in trucks and watch the desert all day. They use night vision equipment, thermal imaging, and drones to patrol the vast empty spaces around the base. Some people claim the base even uses experimental detection technology not available anywhere else in the world. All data from sensors and cameras feeds into a central security command center operating 24/7 every day. The level of security at Area 51 exceeds most other military installations because of the extremely classified work done there. The black mailbox and out. Along Highway 375, there used to be a black mailbox that became a famous landmark for UFO hunters. It belonged to a rancher named Steve Medlin who lived near Area 51 in the empty desert. People would gather at the mailbox hoping to see secret aircraft or UFOs flying overhead at night. Thousands of visitors left notes, drawings, and messages inside the mailbox over the years for others to find. Medlin eventually replaced it with a white mailbox because people kept stealing the black one as souvenirs. The area became so popular that Nevada officially named Highway 375 the Extraterrestrial Highway in 1996. The black mailbox spot is now a meeting point for tourists, conspiracy theorists, and aviation enthusiasts from around the world. On busy nights, dozens of cars park along the road with people watching the sky with cameras and telescopes. The mailbox represented how Area 51 captured people's imagination and became part of American popular culture. Even though it's just a normal mailbox on a lonely highway, it symbolizes humanity's curiosity about the unknown. Rachel, Nevada population, 54. Rachel is the closest town to Area 51, sitting just 25 miles from the base's main gate. The entire town has only 54 permanent residents living in the middle of the Nevada desert. The town's main attraction is the Little Ayla Inn, a restaurant and motel with an alien theme. Owner Connie West decorated it with UFO pictures, alien dolls, and space memorabilia covering every wall. The inn serves alien burgers and has rooms for tourists who want to stay near Area 51 overnight. During the Storm Area 51 event in 2019, Rachel prepared for over 5,000 visitors to invade their tiny town. They worried about running out of food, water, gas, and having nowhere for people to use bathrooms. The town has one gas station, no grocery store, and no hospital for medical emergencies that might happen. Cell phone service barely works, and the nearest real town is over an hour away on empty. Desert roads. Despite its tiny size, Rachel has become internationally famous because of its location near the secret base. Drone shoot-downs. In recent years, people have tried flying camera drones over Area 51 to capture secret footage from above. The base has shot down or jammed every single drone that gets close to restricted airspace without exception. Security forces use electronic jamming equipment that takes control of drones or makes them crash immediately. Some drones simply lose signal and fall out of the sky when they cross invisible electronic barriers. The military has also been seen using directed energy weapons that can fry drone electronics from a distance. Anyone caught flying a drone near Area 51 faces massive fines up to $30,000 and possible jail time. The FAA designated the airspace around Area 51 as permanently restricted with no exceptions for any aircraft ever. Even commercial airlines flying overhead have to stay at very high altitudes and can't deviate from approved routes. Shooting down drones shows the base is constantly updating security to deal with new technology and threats. No matter what gadget someone invents, Area 51 finds a way to keep its secrets hidden from prying eyes. Bonus fact, testing captured enemy aircraft. One of Area 51's actual confirmed missions is testing captured enemy aircraft from other countries in secret. During the Cold War, the US obtained Soviet MiG fighters through defectors and intelligence operations around the world. Pilots at Area 51 flew these enemy planes to learn their strengths and weaknesses for combat situations. This program was called Have Donut and later Constant Peg by the military for different aircraft types. American fighter pilots trained against the Soviet planes to prepare for real combat scenarios with Russian pilots. The base also tested aircraft from China, North Korea, and other potential enemies throughout the decades. By flying enemy planes, the US could develop better tactics and technology to defeat them in actual warfare. This explains some of the strange aircraft sightings over the years that didn't match any American plane designs. People saw unusual planes and assumed they were aliens when they were actually captured foreign military aircraft. It's one of the few confirmed facts about what actually happens at the mysterious base in the desert. From toxic secrets to presidential denials, Area 51 proved that the truth really is stranger than any alien fiction. This base changed military technology forever, while hiding in plain sight for decades without anyone stopping it. If this opened your eyes to how deep the rabbit hole goes, smash that like button and subscribe for more secrets the government doesn't want you knowing about.